Hello, hello, hello. Here we are. Queen Mother Speaks every Wednesday, every week, live at 5 p.m. Kenya time. And right now, it will be 9 a.m. New York time. What can I say to you? First, I want to just start out, excuse me, and apologize a little bit because last week we had another blackout. However, I've learned how to deal with those blackouts. I used to cry and pitch a fit, put my hand on my hip and talk to God about why the hell am I having blackouts? But now I realize that I'm not in control of that. All right. And so I don't freak out anymore. I just find something else wonderful to do. So again, this is Queen Mother Speaks. Greeting to each of you and you and you, and welcome to Wonderful Wednesday. I am your host, Ella Dashanaba King, also known as Queen Mother Denuno I of Ghana. And our co-host, Nana, will be in the back room working the chat room today. She will not be in the studio itself, but I just want to welcome her for being there and doing that for us. We are in season 9. Our theme is, if not you, who? And if not now, when? The time is now. And we had this theme last season. We brought it over to season 9 because we want people to really start thinking about the fact that we're in November. And in a moment, we'll be out of this year. So start thinking about what is it that you can do, what you can do for yourself and for others, and what steps that you can take to make it happen. So that's the message. We want you to do something about it. Please hit that like button, the share, and the comment button, and let us know you're there. I often run into people who tell me they've seen the show, but they don't take the time to give us a shout out or a comment. Please do. We'd like to know that. And having said that, let me give a shout out to our viewing audience. We have Eric Ogungo, Esther Mathoni, Lydia Thiga. These are all people right here in Nairobi, Kenya. We have Abimbola, Lady Mo, Ursula Anderson, Michelle, Ernestine, High Priestess, Seishot, Carmen, and Tina tuning in today from Atlanta. In studio today, let's talk about who we have. Here's our guest in studio today. Please say hello to the viewing audience. Each of you, say hello to
Hello, everyone from Tilila in Marrakesh.
Hi, everyone. This is RAKIYAH Murphy, your herbologist, diabetes cardiovascular manager, facilitator, and we'll be talking about powering up your immune system today. Glad to be on the show.
Hello, everyone from Massai Mara, Kenya.
Hello, everyone.
All
This is
right.
AKINYI
Okay,
from
very
Nairobi.
good. All right. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have what I call a full house. Boy, do we have a great show planned for you today. So I'm going to invite you again to hit the like button, the share button, the comment button. If this is your first time tuning into Queen Mother Speaks, we want to say thank you because we realize that there's a lot of things that you could be doing with your time. And if you've chose to be with us, we're very happy about that. And we hope that you pick up something from the show. Go to our page, tell us who you are. Please excuse me for that. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and also let us know who you would like to see on the show. I'm very happy to say that recently I've gotten a few requests from viewers of who they would like to see on the Queen Mother Speak show. You too can do that just by giving us that person's name and contact information, and we can take it from there, right? All they have to do to watch the show to see what we're about is click on facebook.com Queen Mother Speaks or facebook.com Arthur Teresa R. Kemp. Teresa, of course, is our co-host also under Nana. Thank you, Nana. We want to say again thank you to our guest from last week, who was AKINYI and RAKIYAH. But again, we had a blackout, so we didn't get to get it. But we're going to get it today. Blessings to all our faithful fans who are having birthdays in the month of November. I would like to say happy birthday to my own father, the elder statesman, Reverend Floyd King, who has now joined the realm of the ancestors. We love you, Dad. And if any of you have birthday shout outs for November, feel free to say so. I want to invite you to continue to wash your hands and keep yourself safe and be alert. Be especially alert around this time as we're entering into the holiday season, because there's people out there who have a plot and a plan, and they want to get what you got. So you need to be sure that you keep yourself aware. You know, when I go out, I notice everybody's looking at their phones. Nobody's really paying a lot of attention much more. But Queen Mother want to ask you to please take more time, be more aware of things that are around you. So what is this thing that's called Queen Mother Speaks? It's a community platform for conversations and commentary that matter. Our goal is to inform you, to ignite you, to excite you, to educate you, to tell you about expatriating to Africa. And we also give you newsworthy events, as you'll find out from today. And we also give you quotations and inspirational verse. From the Art of Living Institute, which we had on the show maybe a year and a half ago, we learned about breathing. This was during the pandemic time. We learned about breathing. So we've incorporated a breathing exercise into the Queen Mother Speak show, and we're going to do that right now. Now, how do we do that? You can have your eyes open or closed, whatever works best for you. We're going to breathe in through our nose to the count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to hold it to the count of 8 and then release it slowly. Release it very slowly to the count of 12. And learning how to control your breath when you're blowing it out has a lot to do with how you can control the energy inside of your body. This is part of what I'm learning from the Art of Living Institute. So let us get ready right now and do we're going to do 2, and then we'll move on. Are you ready? Let's go. Breathing in through the nose, not through the mouth. Here we go. Hold. And release. Okay, let's try that again. Breathing in through your nose. Hold. Release. Thank you for that. We normally like to get in 2 or 3 breaths, but we're only going to do 2 today because we have a full show for you. And when the Art of Living Institute facilitators are here, we do a full 15-minute free breathing exercise online. So right now we're going to go to our meditation reading. I'm going to repeat the topic 3 times, and I'm going to ask you to listen from your heart. The topic, Lord, I know. Lord, I know. Lord, I know. Some days you just shake your head and you exclaim, Lord. How many of you know what I'm talking about? When you do that, you're vocalizing your sentiment of doubt or fear or worry or concern. The exclamation of just simply saying, Lord, that prompts a spiritual quickening of discernment within us. The exclamation of Lord activates the sense to feel, know, and recognize another way to understand what circumstance we may be in. Allow wisdom, allow reconciliation and forgiveness to transform your emotions, to transform your thoughts, and to transform your fears. Now, Lord, I know my thinking and feelings about circumstances are transformed. I am held by my spirit. Spirit comforts me. My Heavenly Father, Mother God, talks to me. Its internal voice or its internal reasoning quickens my soul. Understanding emboldens my trust and intensifies my faith. Lord, I know that all is well. I am healed. Thank you, renunciation in me, through me, as me, through the Christ within, and so it is. Excuse me. That is our reading for today. And the verse for today is Glory in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Lord. Psalm 105:3. And our reading today is from Daily Thoughts from the Hill, Hillside International Truth Center, Atlanta, Georgia, USA. All right. So now we're going to go now with our headline, which is the Talila Report. And boy, oh boy, does Talila have something for us today. Talila?
Thank you so much, Queen Mom. I'm glad to be back. I took the month of
Yeah.
October off, gearing up for the midterm elections, and really glad to be back. So this is Elizabeth, aka Tilila, coming to you live from Marrakesh, Morocco, with another Tilila report on Queen Mother Speaks. And in the North African language of Tamazight, Tilila means freedom, and that's what we cover. Anything that impacts democracy and the rule of law, and your freedom to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I am wearing today red, white, and blue in honor of our topic today, as well as the 2-year anniversary of the Talila report on Queen Mother Speaks.
Yay! Yay!
So,
thank you.
So thank you, Queen Mom. You launched this. We hatched this idea together, and you gave me the means to put it on. And since then, I've actually started a YouTube channel for them to record them for the all of the internet. So today's topic is midterms, the rejection of toxicity, and the resurrection of democracy. So, despite the pundits and predictors and polls all presaging a red wave sweeping the US midterm elections and Republicans taking over control of the US House and Senate, the Democrats have received an unprecedented vote of confidence in the midterms, faring better than any incumbent party has done in the last 40 years. This is the good news. Now, the American midterms are significant because they control which party or they govern which party has control of the US Congress, and thus who organizes the chamber and decides what legislation Congress is going to consider. And historically, the party whose president is in office loses seats in both houses in what is essentially a referendum on the incumbent administration. So, as former President Barack Obama put it in 2010, he referred to the Democrats' significant losses then as a shellacking. And in 2006, Republicans took what then George Bush, former President George W. Bush, called a thumping in the midterms. But despite President Biden's low approval rates, even though he is actually working for the American people, passing legislation such as the Inflation Reduction Act, reducing the cost of prescription drugs for seniors, and helping our students with student loan relief, everyone was expecting a similar result this time around. But contrary to all predictions, the midterm elections have not spelled disaster for the Democrats, and instead we have shown incredible resilience. So, first of all, many of the Trump-backed extreme right candidates, such as Donald Bolduc for U.S. Senate in New Hampshire, Dr. Mehmet Oz for U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania, Doug Mastriano, also Pennsylvania, for the governor, Tudor Dixon for the Michigan governorship, and even Carrie Lake for governor in Arizona all lost their races. And importantly, unlike their party leader, with the exception of Kari Lake, they have all conceded their losses. The most amazing news right now is that the Democrats have actually kept control of the US Senate. And late on Friday, the Associated Press called the race, the Arizona senatorial race, for the incumbent Senator Mark Kelly. And then on Saturday night, AP called the winner of Nevada's tight Senate race for Democratic Senator Catherine Cortez Masto. With those two wins, the Democrats now have the US Senate for the rest of President Biden's term. And that is even if Democrat Reverend Raphael Warnock does not beat Republican Herschel Walker in the Georgia Senate runoff on December 6th. And one reason is that we have Vice President Kamala Harris as a tiebreaker for purposes of passing legislation. But make no mistake, the Senate runoff in Georgia is still important. And I know we have Georgia voters on this call. I believe, Queen Mom, you're still a Georgia voter, are you not? In any event, having a majority in the Senate will ensure not only that legislation can be passed, but that it can also get out of committee in the first place. So the runoff is still important. And Georgia is a mail-in only state for voters abroad. So those of you who are Georgia voters need to be sure and get your ballots in ASAP for that runoff. You can check with your local US embassy to see if you can use the diplomatic pouch, given that there's only 3 weeks left to get them in. So in this election, issues played an important part. In states where abortion rights or democracy were on the ballot, Democrats upended the typical midterm result. There was a record turnout of women. Justice Alito underestimated women when he issued that decision in Dobbs overturning Roe v. Wade back in June. And young people voted in record numbers. But another factor is also that former President Donald Trump is widely being blamed by members of his own party for the Republican losses. In fact, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who was an avid Trump supporter at one time, said almost every one of the Trump-endorsed candidates in the competitive states lost. A number of other Republicans have spoken out. Maryland Republican Governor Larry Hogan said that this is the third election in a row that Trump has cost us the race. Republican former House Speaker Paul Ryan said on Wisconsin television last Thursday, "I think he's a drag on our ticket." Many Republicans have echoed these sentiments, including that these elections were a rejection of extremism by the voters. I will spare you how Trump reacted, except that he called our wonderful nation a failing nation and accused Arizona and Nevada of finding votes. Well, I think Liz Cheney, Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who is the vice chair of the J6 committee, who, if the House loses, and that's still an open question, will ultimately disappear. The committee will disappear, said on Thursday, "I think it was a clear victory for Team Normal." And she said that referring to the mainstream Republicans such as herself and the Trump advisors who did not go along with the big lie that Trump won in 2020. President Biden addressed the nation on Wednesday. I don't know if you saw that speech, but that was an uplifting speech, saying it was a good day for democracy. The Democrats lost fewer seats in the House of Representatives than any Democratic president's first midterm election in the last 40 years. And it's been the best midterm for governors since 1986. We now have 12 women governors out of 50 states. That is a first in our history. So although the US Senate has been called for the Democrats, ballots are still being counted across this country in key races that will still determine control of the House. And more ballots are expected this week from overseas voters like those of us here in Morocco and Kenya and all over Africa. and the military abroad, because those statutory deadlines have not yet expired. Republicans presently have the edge, but there's still a chance for Democrats to keep the House. In summation, with record turnout, the 2022 midterms have marked a rare rally for democracy itself, according to constitutional scholars and historians, including some of my heroes like Lawrence Tribe, Harvard Law professor, and even Judge Michael Ludig, who testified before the J6 committee, who was a President George H.W. Bush appointee, said, "For America's democracy, these midterms were the most important elections in our nation's history, and the elections were indisputably a resounding victory for American democracy." So where are we now? The unanticipated Republican losses really should be a historic pivot point for the Republican Party. And even some of the Trumpiest Republicans, like Senator Josh Hawley, who you may remember did that famous fist pump to the insurrectionists at the Capitol on January 6th, have said the old party is dead, time to bury it, build something new. So the question is now, will the Republican Party abandon Trump and Trumpism and move on? While I hope so, I am not too sure about that. There is still a lot of continuing support by millions of diehards in the far right Republican base. And basically, we heard this before when Mitch McConnell, the Trump is responsible, and Lindsey Graham, count me out, both condemned Trump the day after the January 6th insurrection. And then when they faced the Trump voters, they both turned tail and ran, and now continue to kiss the ring. Well, last night, in a speech that was chock full of the same lies, hate, and vitriol he has been spewing for years, the former president declared that he will run for president in 2024. And bear in mind, this is the fourth time he has run for president. In the first three, he never won the popular vote. And in fact, in my opinion and many other people's opinions, he doesn't even want to be president and serve the people. He wants to be king. And he wants also to avoid the indictments for his crimes that are coming from the DOJ, the New York State Attorney General, and the Georgia Attorney General, just to name a few. We know that Trump is an anti-democratic, fascistic, criminal demagogue who called for his supporters to attack his own government. He is unfit for office, in the opinion of more than half of the United States people. But he will use whatever mechanisms he can find available, whether it's fake electors, gerrymandering, state legislatures overturning the will of the people. That is on the Supreme Court's docket this year in the Moore case. Or whether it's loyalist secretaries of state at the state level. He will do whatever it takes to get what he wants, because that is what he's done his entire life. So we, the people, must not be complacent. The battle for our democracy is not over yet. Democracy is only as strong as those of us who believe in it, and we have to keep showing that at the polls. So Georgia voters especially, don't assume that Herschel Walker cannot win this election. Republicans are pouring money into his runoff campaign, and Reverend Warnock only had a razor-thin margin of less than 1% going into this runoff. Please get your ballot in now. Democrats Abroad has voter assistance and protection teams standing by to help you. You can email me at elizabeth_myers@democratsabroad.org. And to reiterate Queen Mom's theme on this program, it's so important. If not you, who? If not now, when? Be there for American democracy. Continue to be there for freedom. And that is the name of this report. Thank you very much, Queen Mother, for giving me another opportunity to speak to your fans. I'm a big fan of you on this second anniversary of the Tilila Report. Do we have Queen Mom with us still?
Let me unmute. So what I wanted to do for sure was to put into the chat the information you just gave us, which is your name, Elizabeth Myers, at democratsabroad.org. Okay, if you got any
Excellent.
questions. And I did vote for the
Wonderful.
November. Yeah, but I've got to do it again because the new date now is December 6th. So I actually have to go by the embassy now, I think, and do it from there right away. And they did send us information about that from the embassy about coming in and getting something in before. So for me, I'll assume it'll probably be between now and Friday. I am trying to see.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Since there are only
and
3 weeks left, there are only 3
Yeah.
weeks left to get your ballots in. I don't think you can rely on local or international mail from your countries. It's going to have to either be through the embassy pouch or through a commercial carrier.
Right. And I'm going to go for the embassy pouch. And I think a lot of us are. We're actually having another meeting on Friday this week here in Nairobi to just encourage people to make sure they get out there and do what needs to be done. Like you said, I mean, I can't believe that there's a thin margin between Herschel Walker and Reverend Dr. Warnock. I remember Herschel Walker even before he went for the Heisman Trophy Award years ago, as I was at that time living in Atlanta, Georgia. So there are people
quite incredible.
The
difference in quality of candidate, that is one of the things that meant that the far right Trumpists by and large did not get elected. And we have a clear difference in the quality of candidate in the Georgia runoff with someone who walks the walk, not just talks the talk, who has been fighting for democracy for decades, who has represented his people already as the incumbent senator, and somebody who is known for being a liar and having zero credentials when it comes to actually getting something done other than perhaps a touchdown.
Well,
the choice is clear.
Yeah, very clear, very clear. And so we just want to continue to encourage you from this site and through all of our social media sites. We'll be posting information about what you can do over these next 3 weeks to make sure that you get your vote in. Stand up and be counted, as we have said. If not you, who? And if not now, the question has to be when. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I wanted to bring in Jamina, but looks like she's not in the studio right now. So we're going to go to our next guest and come back to her. All right. Our next guest is a beautiful lady by the name of AKINYI. I've recently just met AKINYI. I went to the Kilimani Outdoor Festival.
So put her on the screen, Queen Mom.
Yes,
don't forget to put AKINYI on the screen.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and put her on. And
there we go.
So unmute yourself, AKINYI. So I met her at the outdoor festival, and we were on our way out, and there was this woman just bursting with energy. I had guests in house from America, Stephanie, and this woman, as we were leaving out, was just bursting with energy, and we burst back our energy and got a good conversation going, and come to find out all the great things that she was doing. And so I said, please, beloved, would you be willing to come and be on the show and talk to us? And she said she would be honored. So we're the ones honored to have you here today. AKINYI is a Kenya registered community health nurse with a specialty training in maternal and newborn health. She's a certified mentor, Faces Aspire Mentoring Initiative Program, and that's something in collaboration with University of California, San Francisco. I'm a University of California, Los Angeles graduate, AKINYI. She's also a certified childbirth associate. She's a Lamazi certified childbirth associate, breastfeeding support counselor, lactation educator, trained by Elizabeth Project International, which is an affiliate of the Lamazi International. She's also a Nasham bereavement support counselor. Are you getting this? Are you getting all the things that this wonderful woman is doing? She says she's been active in community service, offering maternal and early parenting support, childbirth classes for a long time. For a long time. She is also a mother of three adorable children herself. AKINYI is a woman on a mission, the warm spirited AKINYI. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Queen Mother. That is dotting. And thank you so much for
You
having
so
me
much
in
for
the
all those
show.
credentials.
Good evening, viewers in Kenya. Good morning, viewers in New York City, and to all our viewers all around the world. I hope you're having a good day,
Hold on a
a good
second.
evening.
Hold on a second, my sister.
Yes.
Sister Dashanaba, could
Yes,
you
please.
get a lemon or a lime and suck on it, please?
I have. And I
Yeah, are
sent
you
you a
sucking
message
on it?
that I did. I finished the one I had. I was
You need
down
to
to the last fourth,
and get you
and
a
I
hot
finished
cup.
that.
Make a cup of tea. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that, Rakiyah.
Okay.
Can you
Okay, so
continue?
Sorry.
thank you. Sorry, Queen Mother. Sorry. Just get yourself something to drink. So
Yes, I
yes,
will.
viewers, I'm very grateful to be here. I'm so honored to be here. And like Sister Dashanaba says, it was a beautiful evening that I met her with her guest, and yes, the energy was mutual. So I felt,
Mhm.
why not? Why not come to Queen Mother Speaks and also join this beautiful community that is imparting, igniting, informing, and educating all of us. So, just like the theme for today's, the season 9, if not you, who? If not now, when? I want to say that I am actually, just like Elizabeth said, I am walking the walk.
All right.
I am I am like just like Sister Dashanapa said, I'm a trained nurse midwife with a subspecialty training in maternal and newborn care. And that includes now, of course, the whole mother, a pregnant woman, the journey of pregnancy, the journey of labor and delivery, and the journey of now new motherhood, of course,
Mhm, mhm.
including the baby, the newborn child, incorporating this child into an existing family routine and just helping this family settle. This passion was birthed out of my own experience, which was very unique in the year 2012. I am a mother of 3 children,
Uh-huh.
one singleton and a set of twins. So,
Whee!
despite having been a mother once, when I had this set of twins, it was a totally different phenomenon, and I did not feel supported by the people around me. I know most of the time, mothers feel alone in a crowd. And I was that mother in 2012 when I was amongst so many people, yet I did not feel supported. So I thought, if not me, then who is going to support these mothers? And that birthed my passion to just go back and get more knowledge, get more education on how to support mothers during pregnancy, how to support mothers during childbirth, and even after postnatally. So I do it passionately. I do it in the community for the less privileged. And right now, I am working with a society called Multiple Blessings here in Kenya. Multiple Blessings is just from the
Mhm.
word multiples, where we are parents of families with multiple children, twins, triplets, quadruplets. And knowing the magnitude of what it takes to raise multiple children, I I'm leaning more towards supporting these families of multiples. However, I also support as a business, a way of generating income for myself because I am in
I
self-employment.
see.
I also support
Okay.
mothers who are expecting singletons. So I
Mm.
am also a bereavement support counselor, and I am trained an Acham bereavement support counselor. And this means I
Mhm.
support mothers who have experienced loss of either a pregnancy or infants. We walk the journey,
Mm.
and at some point, I get to roll them over to support groups that can now enhance that journey further as they progress and they walk the journey of healing post loss. I am so glad and honored to be here. If you have any
Akinyi,
questions for me, yes,
yeah, I do.
you
I
can
want
put
you
them
to
on the
share
chat.
with us just
Yeah.
just two of your top aha moments on this job. Share with us two of your aha moments being in this profession. You get me?
Oh, there are so many. However,
I know I only want
the
two. I
best.
only want two.
Okay, let me narrow down to two. One of the
Okay.
best was when I was supporting this family. This is a family that had lost a mother. A mother had lost her life while bringing life.
Mm.
And this is a story that I picked from social media, and we got to run with it as a society. I followed up this family, went to where they lived. They lived in a place, one of the slum areas in Nairobi called Dandora slum. And I was able to locate their house in the slum, and I interacted with them, and it was a set of triplets, three babies.
Mm. Wow.
This was the first born in that family, and Boniface, who was bereaved, the widower, was
Mm.
stranded. He did not know what to do or how to go about it. So we just
Mm.
arrived right on time when they were about the community, were making decisions on how they were going to feed these children and just keep them warm and keep them fed. And we
Mm.
arrived at the time when they were just about to give newborn babies porridge that was
Ah.
not sifted, porridge that was not
My
Ooh.
goodness.
just porridge that
Ooh.
you can give to an adult. And we were able to give them information. We were able to come together as a community of multiple blessings and rally some funds formula milk for these children. And today, just last week, I was invited for their sixth birthday. They are now big
Ah.
girls. They are now big girls. They have already enrolled in school, and yes, when I was showing them their pictures of day 3 when they were 3 days old, they were like, "This can never be any of us." And that was such a beautiful, beautiful thing. I felt so satisfied. I felt so encouraged. And I knew that somebody had to come in to just give this information that was really needed at that time. And there's a whole community that had to come in to support.
Uh-huh.
So, and they had to do it then. And
Mm.
this has birthed a whole generation of three beautiful, amazing girls who we still keep praying and we still hold their hands. And we hope that there will be a whole other generation of people who will tell their story. And I'm so glad that we are part of their story. Yes, that is the first
I've got
one.
another question. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other questions coming in for you, Kenyi,
Mhm.
is what would you say to a young person who wants to enter this field that you're in? What would you say to them?
I would tell anybody who wants to enter the field of nursing or the medical field or even the psychosocial, psychological field of supporting families that find your purpose. Find your purpose. You can find your purpose in your own experience. You can find your purpose in what you like to do. You can find your purpose in what other people see in you that you probably do not see in yourself. Unfortunately, most of us go into it because of what it has, the money, the job opportunities. But you find that if you do not have the passion for it, you grow weary and you become, you don't get the satisfaction that you're supposed to derive out of it. Secondly, find a mentor. If you think this is the line that you want, find a mentor who can nurture and support you. Find a mentor who can redirect you and always hold your hand and can keep cheering you on, even on days that you're feeling low and you feel like giving up on it. Thirdly, go out there, find yourself, and enjoy what you can do and do it to your best. Thank you. Thank you,
Very
Sister
getting some
Dashanaba.
more questions on the comment board, and I'll send you questions that come in after the show, because you see, you've taken something that you love and you've made it part of your career, and
Yes.
you put it out there in such a way that I think that's what we got when we first met you. We felt the overwhelming love from within. So I know that when you walk into a family, it gets extended the same way. So thank you for that, and we'll continue to talk with our young people because many of them haven't made decisions yet on what they want to do in life. And when they hear a passionate person like you, they may say, that's something I could try. And they start out by taking whatever you tell us they need to do first. But we really love the work that you're in. We want to encourage you to continue to do it. And we want to look forward to having you on the show again. We're going to jump over here to Jamila right now.
Thank
She's
you.
back in soon. Thank you too. We'll be back.
Today, me mena. Eh? Ninya la merejo. We are just turning back to Jemima Nelo. Hmm?
Why don't you go ahead, Jamima? Maybe Queen Mum is having a problem with her audio or her connection. Tell us something about you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Talila. I've been turning my mic off so you don't hear me coughing. All right. But Jamina, ladies and gentlemen, for year 2 of the Queen Mother Speak show, we always found a project every year. And so what we've done now is we decided to take on the project that deals with supplying reusable sanitary pads to young girls. So we started asking you for support, $10 or 1,000 shillings. And we wanted to support the young girls in the Sekanani village. Why the Sekanani village? Because that's a village that's close and near to my heart, as all of the other villages are. And when we got involved in this process and we went over to the Sekanani school where the girls are, Jamina is the one who helped us along with the principal in organizing for that day. All right. It was quite a production, I will say. But the biggest thing we had to do was to explain to them how to wash the pad because it is reusable. And then, of course, Jamina is there on a regular basis with the girls. So tell us, what was that like for your girls, Jamina? What was it like when we came to the school for the distribution of the reusable pads? Oh, she still got her. Jamina, I can only ask that you unmute. Take off, unmute yourself. Unmute. Open your mic. Open your mic, Jamina. Okay. All right. So we'll come back to her, but we're going to go ahead now to our next guest in studio, who is none other than RAKIYAH. I know RAKIYAH from America, and RAKIYAH can tell us a few things about. Oh wait, looks like she's coming back in. Let's see.
Hello.
Okay, there you are. We're going to go ahead and talk with Jamina now, if that's all right with you, Rakiyah. So tell
Oh
us,
yeah.
Jamina, what it was like for you and the girls when we came for the distribution day.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm very sorry my signal is not good because it's raining, and I'll try to explain if my signal will allow me. I'm here in Sikinani Primary. I'm here for the last 13 years working with the girls, and I want to appreciate Mother Queen. She came last week for the distribution of the unreusable pads. My girls are so surprised because it was a surprise for them. It was a dream come true because something they have never got their lifetime. They are still happy up to now. And I want to tell you a little bit more about the importance of the sanitary pads. It will help our girls on hygiene. They'll be clean. They'll be comfortable with their studies because when they use the normal pads, they need to go every time and tend to change. And also sometimes the floor is heavy. They stain their clothes. They are not comfortable in class. But I sincerely appreciate and thank Mother Queen for the pads he bring to the girls. Even some of them are telling me today they have started using. They are so comfortable. They are so happy with it. And they are very much appreciative. Uh, the pads Mother Queen supply to them help them at least to be comfortable in school, to remain present in school every time, because most of them get absent on their messages because some of them they're not comfortable, some of them they don't get enough pads to use, some of them have heavy flow, so most of them they become absent. So one very important thing, they'll be throughout in school. So the academic will, I'm very sure they'll improve even their performance because of their because of them being present. And also considering that, it will help the parents, at least they will not occur that expenses of buying the pads. More so, the place we are, the parents are only depending on the tourism. So they don't have any other business they're doing. They are not doing any farming. They are just here selling their beads, at least to get something for their kids for food. So sometimes they don't see buying pads as if it is important for them. So it's a very, very great help. Also, when the girls they don't have pads or enough pads for them, most of the time they'll be absent. Most of them they get complaint. They get complaint from their parents. They come and say, "Madam, oh, I did not come to school because I didn't have pads. My mother never had money to buy them because whatever mother has, it is for food only." So it's a lot of challenge. So we really appreciate that. Mother Queen was here and we distributed pads for about 200 plus girls, 200 girls plus. They're so happy. They really, really appreciate. I don't know whether there's something else I need to add.
Well, no, you've done well. I've been talking about the pads for I would say over 5, 6 months, and I'm just happy to have you here now as a witness to that one village and how it has impacted the lives of our young girls. We will have Jamina and probably a few of the young ladies to come back in the month of March 2023, given that they've had a few months now to use these reusable pads, because they would be the ones to tell us if they work, how well they work, or whatever. So, and we know that the pads have been being distributed, but I'd like to hear from them as to how it actually made an impact in their life. So come March, we'll tune back in to Jamina and the secondary school. And do know that our short-term goal is 1,500 pads, okay? And we've only done 200, and we call it this round one. Most of the smaller villages have from somewhere between 200 and 350 young girls. So we just target that group between the ages of, let's say, 11, 12, and maybe 14, 15 that are actively involved in school. So once again, Jamina, thank you for being with us. We'll have you back at another time. And now we got to go over and talk to another lady on the show.
Most welcome.
And that's RAKIYAH. Thank you, my love. We're going to tune in over to RAKIYAH. But before I click on RAKIYAH, I want to say that I met her stateside years and years ago. And
maybe you wanted to add something little, Mother?
Please go ahead.
Okay, I want to tell you that we give pads to 200 girls, and the population we have is a big number. We have around 1,400 kids in school, and also we have neighboring school. When girls went to their homes, they show their friends or their relatives they got pads from school. And I have some teachers who have come here and request, can you please connect us with Mother Queen also to help our girls? So there's a lot of need. And those who have even their parents coming here to appreciate. Parents are coming here to say, oh, madam, thank you very much. Our girls are happy. So you see, there's a need of more and more of them. We really appreciate. And you know, we are in a rural area. I told you this because they don't have any business. They are only depending on tourism to get something. Anyone who have visited Massai Mara can be a witness that the mothers are just outside the gates selling their beads, and that's what they used to eat, and that's what they used to pay their school fees. That's what they used to buy pads for their kids. So they really appreciate. So if there is any other way that can be used for us to get more than the number you have brought, you know, I was just writing a few number of them, and I'm very sure you saw yourself. We have a lot of girls in school. Even the day we distributed to give girls in the hall, many of them have missed it. And others are even saying, madam, you didn't write me, madam, you left me out. But I was only writing the number you told me. So many of them, they are seeing like they are left. They are not considered. So if the number can increase, or if we can get more than that, we'd really appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very, very much for that request, Jamina. We will take that into consideration. And again, why Sekanani? Sekanani is a village that I personally have adopted. So my first line of defense, if you will, was to the girls in that specific village. And it was about 200. That's where the number came from. But when you hear me talk about 1,500, trust me, I have villages lined up throughout Africa to get their 200 or 300, depending on the number of girls in that village. So I will say to you, chances are we will get to swing back around, but I cannot promise you a date at this time. But you know, Nani, and you know how much I love being with those young girls. So I don't think it's over. We'll just have to keep up a more massive campaign for fundraising, because $10 makes such a huge difference. So we won't forget you. Okay, and you let the girls know that we are not forgetting them. And I'll probably see them over the Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah holiday anyway, because I'm thinking of coming back that way for the holiday. Okay, so thank you for that.
And remember, they told you are their mother, so you should remember them always. And I think you saw the nearby girls' school. I show you the nearby girls' school, and they're also saying we are girls. If there is a donation for girls, we're also girls, and you are also needy. So I think you have a big luggage now, because you have primary and you have secondary, and all of them are looking for it. All of them are requesting for it, and both schools have needy girls.
Yes.
And I told you, in my community, in Maasai community, most girls going to school, it's by luck, because they don't give girls privilege. I told you, in my community, they see girls as a way of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So most of them, they go there for rescue. Some of them go there. You see, I told you that the problem we have here in Maasai land is girls, they don't have any privilege, not like boys.
Yeah.
So when you see like the nearby school, the girls' school, secondary school, most of the kids come from the village, and most of them have come there for rescue of early marriage. I think we talk about that. So when they get such donation, they will really, really appreciate.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And your words are not falling on deaf ears. Your words are actually falling on ears that are open, listening and ready to hear. And we'll continue to fundraise so that we can help even more schools in that particular area, even as we go to other countries and work in other villages as well. But I can never forget Sekanani, because Sekanani is my village away from Ghana.
Wow,
You see,
thank you very
so
much.
it's very near. It's very, very, very near my heart. And I'll be engaging with other guests on the show to talk about what they can do to help me with this project, because it is such a huge need, and it makes such a great impact for such a small amount. And by the way, the kit, they get 4 in the kit that the girls get, like this. There's 4 pads inside. All right, and the pads are good for a year. These reusable pads, they're good up to a complete year. All right, so 4 of them and 2 pair of underwear is what we gifted last week in the Sekanani village. Thank you, Jamina. We'll be back to you again. And let the women know that it's not falling on, the girls know it has not fallen on deaf ears. And
Thank you
having
very
said
much.
that, thank you to my love. I was talking about RAKIYAH. Actually, I know RAKIYAH through her children. I served as a Sunday school teacher, and I happened to have the girls at one point in my class. And that's actually how I got to meet the mother when she would come sometimes and pick up the girls. So we're going to turn our attention right now to RAKIYAH. And I'm going to say that she's the eldest of 10 children. She was born in the Republic of Panama. Many of her formative years were also spent in that country, and she still loves and visits that country often. But for the most part, right now, she is in the United States. She attended the University of Detroit in Michigan, and then completed her bachelor's degree at Rhode Island College, Providence in Rhode Island. Later, she decided to relocate to Atlanta, Georgia, where she began her work on her master's. She says she considers herself a lifelong student. She's one of the first people years ago that I ever heard use that terminology, a lifelong student. So now she has 7 children, 5 daughters, 2 sons, and she's 40 plus years old with 7 grandchildren. She is an educator. She's taught Spanish for over 35 years, plus being a lifestyle, holistic health and wellness coach. She performs acupressure massages that releases toxins from our body. And she'll tell you about the 30-day detoxification system. She'll share some books with you. I will be putting some information in the post for you, specifically from her, to you, to learn more about health and wellness. Coach RAKIYAH.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me, Queen Dashanara. It is indeed a pleasure to be on this platform, and prayerfully, everyone will be listening and being obedient and instructive and constructive and wanting to make a change, because we have a very serious situation. I took the liberty of putting a lot of notes on the private chat. So I listed the books, and I listed some highlights of what I was going to be talking about as it pertains to maintaining optimal health. I want to give you these notes first so that you would have something to think about the most common causes of natural deaths are respiratory upper respiratory diseases, cardiovascular diseases, and cancer. I need you to pay attention. Accidents are followed by accidents and by suicide. The most common unnatural cause of death are the number one cause of death is cardiovascular disease. Natural death is one that occurs to or in 10 factor that causes the body to shut down, such as cancer, heart disease, or diabetes, because these diseases are the ones that affect your five vital organs of the body, which is the heart, is a muscle, your colon, kidney, liver, spleen. Reasons for death such as traumatic injury, February 28, 2022. Strokes are the fourth leading cause of death. In 2019, data shows that more than 129,000 people over the age of 65 died from stroke. By comparison, the number of stroke deaths in people ages 45 to 64 was much lower at about 18,000. 35-year-olds dying from heart attacks. Many doctors, including pathologists, classify deaths into 5 different categories: natural, accident, suicide, homicide, or unknown. The specific cause of death plus the circumstance of surrounding the death influence the designation. So there is no way that we can continue to go down the road that we're going. If the diseases that people are dying from are cancer, cardiovascular disease, upper respiratory diseases, and diabetes, then that is directly correlated to eating the wrong foods, living the wrong lifestyle, fried foods, sugar, salt, beef, pork, meats. Back in the day when our ancestors came over, they ate like that, but they were also very active. Here, these days, we're living a very sedentary life with everyone saying, Alexa, turn on the light. Alexa, turn on the video. Alexa, Alexa, the microwave, huh?
No, I'm just with you. I'm listening.
Yeah, we're living in a microwavable society where everything is getting now. Since the late 60s, there has been a profound challenge in the African American community as it pertains to the fast food restaurants serving a hamburger and a shake and fries with 1,800 calories, which is almost maxed out at the 2,500 that a young individual should be eating. So there goes the dilemma with the clogging of the arteries and the high volume of diabetes. 45% to 50% of the individuals in the USA, African Americans, suffer from some type of diabetes. Diabetes type 1, diabetes type 2, pre-diabetic, and juvenile diabetes. It is now trickled down to the kids being obese at the age of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is a crying shame. So we must come up with a brand new formula in order to arrest some of these challenges that are facing us. We're dying at a high proportion in our communities. We are dying. Every day you get on Facebook, there's 5 or 6 or 7 people posting this, somebody died. So the books that I've listed talks about a plant-based solution to a bad situation. Dr. Baxter Montgomery, a renowned cardiovascular doctor in Houston, Texas, his mom died of a massive heart attack. And he's an MD, deals with the heart, and he couldn't save his mom. So he set out to devise a plan that would assist people in saving their lives. And so the first thing that would happen when you go to Dr. Baxter Montgomery is he will put you in a plant. It's a team. He has a team of doctors set up, a nutritionist, a physical therapist. He has a restaurant that serves plant-based food. He has the doctors, and he puts you in a detox. He puts you in a 6 weeks detox to clean out or unclog your arteries and your colon and your kidney and your liver and spleen. My divas, my beloved family, if you detox on a regular basis, half of these problems will not be affecting us. We have forgotten the ways of the old. We have forgotten when our grandmas and grandpas used to line us up and give us a tablespoon of castor oil or milk of magnesia or Swiss Chris or dandelion or golden seal, any type of herb that's going to go in and assist you in detoxing your 5 vital organs of the body. Secondly, we have forgotten, lost my thought, but we have forgotten the ways in which we did things. And so the doctors these days have shown that if we go plant-based, most of the chronic diseases can be reversed, can be eradicated, the medications can be reduced or eliminated. And I guess I'll leave talking about the superfoods and what we should do in order to begin to cleanse the body. I want you to know that exercise, you must exercise. You must hydrate, drink alkaline water, okay? You must consume mostly greens, legumes, nuts, and nuts and what did I forget? In order to give your body an opportunity to breathe. Your body is a holy temple of God, and we should honor it. There is a group in Israel, the Hebrew Israelites. They are vegan. They are vegan. They do not consume any animal products. They consume sugar twice a year. I forgot to put in sugar blues. They get a massage once a month. Plus they're spiritual. That counts too. You have to have your mind straight. And they have centenarians that are living. They have the seniors are living into the 90s and 100 years up and up. So that should tell you that something is wrong. We're doing something wrong. It's not working. Right now, my sister is in the hospital from a massive stroke, and I'm very disturbed. I haven't been sleeping because I was constantly talking to her. She went into the hospital with a pressure of 240 something over 100 and something. The doctor was shocked that she was still living. And so please do keep her in prayer. But I am so passionate about this thing. Granny died. She was 300 and something pounds. She suffered from obesity, diabetes. And so her kidney was going and her liver was going and her organs was going. And so 1980, 81, when Granny passed, gave me the shock of my world and turned my world upside down. And that is when I began the pursuit of BASS, body awareness, sweet sensations. I began to question what was the problem and what was required to make that change. And that change is plant-based. The only thing is that the doctors haven't figured out a way to make that change. They haven't figured out a way to be able to galvanize on capitalistic wise how to make money by telling the patient to go plant-based, to exercise, to detox. I'm going to cut it because I think we're running over. So
no, you go right ahead. I'm responding to things in the chat. I'm also giving them the powerful information that you have given us to share. So keep going.
Okay, so also I listed another book there, Infectious Madness. And Harriet Washington, she was a journalist, and then she began to study what drove her was Reagan, when Reagan put through all the mental illness patients out in the streets. That is why we have such a high number of homelessness. And she began to look into and tie in when psychology and the mind became capitalistic. And that was in the 50s when they had a meeting and decided as to how they were going to galvanize and be able to make money off of mental illness. And she alludes to the fact that the deficiencies in nutrients and micronutrients and the lifestyle and the way we live are direct correlation to or attributed to mental illness. And so it's just a lot. It's just a lot. But what the main thing that I want us to get to pay attention to is that we must be willing to stop and to make a change, to give up all that we're doing. I know it sounds like a utopia. And make a change to go and plant-based. Just give me 3 months. Because after 3 months, and you're feeling fantastic and energetic and revived, I am almost positive you will not go back to the old way. Give me 3 months to try a plant-based nutritional approach. Alkaline water, exercise for 20 to 30 minutes, put on some music and just dance for 20 minutes. That will strengthen your heart muscle. Just simply dance. Play some drumming music. Play some spiritual music. And
speaking of drumming, tell us about your drumming circle. For those of us who like
my drumming circle will resume on November 19th, coming up this Saturday, because I also had a power outage last Saturday. I was supposed to have it last Saturday. And Lord and behold, when I woke up, everything was the power. I said, okay, God. And so instead, I just canceled it and went to see Wakanda. the Black Panther.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, that's a nice
And
thing to
that
do, my
was,
sister.
everybody needs to see that. It was
I
very
did. I went to see it. I had a ball. I had just an
and let
absolute
me let
ball
me
looking
let
at
me tell
Wakanda.
you, let me tell you what I like about it. Everybody's talking about that they didn't have the brothers fighting, but in Wakanda Black Panther 2, it showed the collaboration, cooperation, and consensus between the black men squad and the black woman. They had to collectively come together and work to save themselves. Secondly, I like that they showed the morals and the ways of how we did things in Africa, how our ancestors buried us, how funerals are treated. And I like the way that they honored and respected Chadwick Boseman. So
I can say the same. I loved it. I was fortunate to take my guest from America, who was here with me last week. We did get to go to see Wakanda, and we even dressed the part. Next week, we'll show you some pictures from that.
we were white.
I just want to take, yes. The other thing too is it showed that the brown people and the black people were working together, didn't it? With the
Yes.
people from the water.
And
Yes.
see, Marvel is very, you see, some of us are in tune. Some of us are in tune with the transformation that is taking place in globally. We are changing. And they know that things that they're in a minority. They brought in the Latinos into the game because the Latinos got the money. And so it's changing. They're fighting it. They're fighting it, but light overtakes darkness any day, anytime, anyway. Light and darkness cannot coexist. And so we consciously and subconsciously have to think about that. And the only way that we can think and optimally utilize our imagination is by eating the right foods and keeping ourselves whole and complete. We can't fight anything or we can't change anything if half of us are sick.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean,
and a large portion of our society is actually sick to some point, to some degree. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, why I have these health professionals on the show, and with the things that they're sharing with us, they're taking them to heart. And we're going to continue to post the valuable information that Coach RAKIYAH has given us. We'll continue to post it throughout the week on all of the Queen Mother Speak sites, as well as through Bonga Dada Bonga. All right, and if you want to get in touch with her, we're now showing her information on the screen.
And if Dr. Naba,
Yes.
if they have any questions, if you need me to, I will coach you. I won't charge you. You can give me whatever you want to give me, or you don't have to give me anything. But I will walk you through the process because that is what God has ordained for me to do. There's a mandate. Half the time I'm not sleeping. I'm up reading and taking notes. And I mean, because my ancestors are urging me to get this job done.
Very well. Very well. So we have RAKIYAH on a 4-part session. This is session number 3. She'll be back with us next week for session number 4, where she's going to give us a brief review on sessions 1, 2, 3, and 4. I see Nana has joined us. Nana, anything you'd like to say?
Yes, I've been so excited to listen to such a great dialogue and exchange. Our viewers have gotten so much from this. it's unbelievable. It's life changing. And the really good thing about it, when you all were talking about the children, it is genetic and generational a lot of the times that our children here in the United States and around the world are suffering from obesity, from diabetes at young ages, under 15 years old. And that's directly related to generational dietary accessibility. So I just wanted to mention that many places here, they don't have access to healthy fruits and vegetables because of the cost of it and because their parents are the ones planning the nutrition. Also at schools, they consider here ketchup to be a vegetable in their dietary plan. And I don't know if in Kenya you all know who the football coach, he was called Prime Time. He's at Jackson State University in Mississippi. And he went on the warpath because the schools that are nearby him, they have better dietary choices, the high schools, than he had. And the HBCUs, which is historically Black colleges, they didn't have the same dietary choices, though they had the same company providing their food and nutrition. And he was saying that they needed better choices, but we have to take a look at our diets on an institutional level, since our children are not with us most of the day, and that's the same thing. So we had to find programs to provide and fill the gap, and also teach what you all are all doing, which is such a blessing. And on our grief coach, grieving is a process. I put in the chat because I was traveling to get to this location, but I put in the chat that so many young people are being lost today and don't know how to grieve, don't know that it's okay to grieve. And I'm born and raised in Germany, and they taught us about family loss, how to handle funeral arrangements in school, in junior high and high school. And with this process, women, like I was a young widow at 20 years old, so I wore navy blue. The older you are and the more loss you suffer, you wear brown. And then if everyone in your family is gone, you wear all black. And what happens, that lets people know culturally and in society that you're grieving. So mothers don't have that. And in America, we don't have that. You wear whatever you want. And so people are grieving and suffering loss, and we're holding them accountable for their behavior, though they don't even realize they're depressed, they're reclusive, they can't function as they normally do, they're not eating the way they normally eat, they don't know how to interact with people, or they will be triggered by something that they can't get past and suddenly snap just like that. They're not upset with you, they're just still grieving. And our children here in America, a lot of them are suffering in school because of dietary choices of their family, grieving the loss of people with COVID, but because of the diet, I'm pointing, trying to get to all our hosts and special guests, but because of the diet, Queen Mother, as you know, that can cause delayed function for school. And they call it somewhere on the spectrum, or children get an IEP, which is special exceptions for their learning and trying to assist them. And we don't have those things in Kenya, Africa, and many other parts where when people have learning disabilities, wear eyeglasses or need eyeglasses, in wheelchairs, they don't make accommodations for them. And in some parts of Africa, they still consider that witchcraft. If you're a gifted child or if you have delays, and your family could still be grieving, suffering, and reeling from those things. So it's important to have coaches and people who are knowledgeable on health and wellness, because your nutrition and your mental health and wellness and family are all tied and intertwined. Like here on Queen Mother Speaks, we are tied to one another through thick and thin, in health, in illness. And we have to keep on taking advantage of these wonderful speakers and guests we have. So Queen Mother, back to you.
We do. Thank you, my love. And RAKIYAH, maybe on one of your 3-day, 4-day programs for new people trying to learn how to do this, working up to a 21-day program to a 30 to 45-day program. Let us be a part of one of those coming up, or we can promote it in advance, and we'll make way for you to come on and talk about it, whether it's a 3-day, a 4-day, a 21-day. We love to be a part of it and get people tuning in through the Queen Mother Speak show. So when you're ready to put on one that we can be a part of, we would just love to do that. Nana, do you want to say anything about our mentions? Do you have anything
I
available
do
on the
want
mentions?
to, before I get to the mentions, I want to thank all of our viewers that sent us the money where we were able to do the Hadi pad distribution, because so many of the young women in Kenya and other parts of Africa are not able to go to school, go to work. They have to drop out because they don't have the same waste management systems we do. They don't have the same programs to teach them about their bodies, health, and wellness. So their menstrual cycle, which is normal, women all over the world experience the same thing. They now
Women all
have
over the world.
4 reusable pads and 2 pairs of panties. So we're going to bring you those pictures and hopefully maybe some video clips of the distribution. So as
Yes,
she was
we
saying,
will.
this is our 2nd anniversary, and we are so excited about that. We don't know what to do.
Yes. All
So,
right.
on our mentions, let me quickly get to that. We, many of you here in the United States, I wanted to add this today that we needed to pray because there are earthquakes going on all over, from Asia to California's had earthquakes every day this week and last week. And yes, I have family there. So it was definitely upsetting, but they assured me this morning that they're not those locations because California is so long. It's far away from them. So
Good.
I'd like to, did you mention the event that you did at So Vegetarian?
No, I want you, I'm asking you to, no, I didn't talk about the event, but what I want you to do now is to tell people how to reach Soul Vegetarian and that they're going to have cooking classes coming up.
Oh, okay. So I'm pulling it up. So if you will go ahead.
All right. And because we want to complete in 2 minutes at 6:30 today, Lucille's Kitchen. If it's sweets that you want to eat, baby, you want to eat some Lucille's. In fact, sweet potato pie time is right around the corner. You can call 0732-567-327 to order your sweet potato pie in Nairobi, Kenya. Now, Nairobians have a different kind of sweet potato that we're used to having out of America. They're not as sweet. So she can make either one, but that's called Lucille's Kitchen. All right, Lucille's Kitchen, 0732-567-327. We also want to remind you to take a look at Bonga Dada Bonga tomorrow, Thursday, 7 p.m. Kenya time, 11 a.m. New York time, on the Bonga Dada Bonga show, where we will be talking about some of the results from the midterm elections in America. And we'll also be talking about and featuring some of the things that RAKIYAH has given us. We'll also have, in the Bonga Dada Bonga show, we'll put over a slide over there to talk about what we did with the reusable pads, because we want to continue to fundraise because there's so many more young girls who are in need. Anything else from you, Nana?
Let's see. We want to thank everybody that went out and voted. It is so important that you participate and know how much power you have and in your voice and in your vote. So don't just vote for only the presidential elections, but the midterm elections wherever you are. In Kenya, we are going to be doing programs to help empower and get women to be more bold and to learn about how to put together a war chest or funding so that they will be prepared for the next election. And of course, we're going to be preparing for peaceful elections. And did you already mention about the classes that you all did for the National Police Wives Association, Queen Mother?
No, we didn't do that. We just focused on 2 today.
Okay. Well, we're
So
doing
we'll
a
be
lot
coming
of
back
things
to that.
behind the scenes to empower women around the world, to empower you financially and teach you how to do different skills, regardless of your age. Whether you're a child or adult, you can write a book that works 24 hours a day while you sleep, take care of the babies, and do other things. So here on Queen Mother Speaks, we try to bring you speakers and guests that have stepped out and have gotten bold and have courage, because we want you to have the courage to make change right where you are. There needs to be change all over the world, but she lives in Kenya. I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida, in the United States, but we have connections everywhere and family everywhere. So we want to make sure that you know the power that you have, and that you have people around the world who care about you and what's happening right where you are today. And so we're trying to get women, but families, we're about strengthening families. We're not for women only, but we want to give women around the world the opportunity to take care of themselves, self-care, because we take care of everybody else, but we want to empower you and let you know that there's somebody that cares about you right where you are. We care about you in Nairobi, Kenya. We care about you in Curacao. We care about you in California, Japan. We care about you in Africa, no matter where you are. She and I are Queen Mothers in Ghana, but this program is coming from, she's in Kenya, but she's also been in Namibia. So we care about you no matter where you are. I'm from Germany. So we want you to know that somebody, you can get to them internationally. You don't have to suffer alone. We're like your friends and family now. So we want you to like, follow, and subscribe to our pages. We will follow you back. And we're going to go out and like all of you all social media pages today, our special guest. And we're going to follow you. And we're going to, as she was saying, promote whatever you're doing forever. We're girlfriends forever.
That's right. Now, AKINYI, as you'll be doing more projects in Kenya, Queen Mother would like to know about them so we can support it, so we can advertise it. Mima, as I have said, what you've said about more girls wanting help and wondering why they didn't get a pad, let them know it did not fall on deaf ears, and we will continue with our fundraising campaign so we can have others. Next week, November 23rd, we will have in studio again Coach RAKIYAH, who will be giving us session 4. What is that session going to be about, Coach RAKIYAH?
It's going to be about a review, and I'm going to give out some free tidbits as to what we must do during the holidays to save our lives.
Whoa!
I mean,
all right, very well.
Because this is the period, the window of opportunity where people just fall off the earth for no it's not for no apparent reason, but you cannot be mixing macaroni and cheese, potato salad, turkey, chicken, and
they're healthy options.
No greens and no salad. You cannot eat like that. You can't eat like that. It is mind-boggling to me. And at my house, when we go for Thanksgiving, that I'm in charge of making a salad. And best to believe that I can eat for 3-4 days because very few touches the salad.
Yeah, it's true. But we want to continue to encourage people to eat more healthy for
we
longer,
have to change our mindset. We have to change our mindset, and we have to know that the things that are in our community, we can find a liquor store in every corner. We can find a McDonald's, a Popeyes, Jack in the Box, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Burger King, Chick-fil-A. We can find all of those within a parameter of less than a mile. And I see a lot of parents taking their kids there because it's quick and it's fast. But we have to take a step back. We must take a step back if we
Take
are
a
to
step
survive
back.
into the 21st century, take a step
Indeed.
back and
Right.
breathe and begin to use your mind. Try to learn to understand what is the responsibility of the 4-5 vital organs of the body, and what is really happening with those organs.
Right
When you
on.
choose to eat, what you think you feel like eating. Listen to me.
Well,
When you choose to eat what you think like you feel like eating, a lot of times what you feel like eating is not the best.
this is so true.
And
Yeah,
so
this
on
is so
another session, we can talk about addictions, because when I teach the class on diabetes and cardiovascular management, and I tell them that food is a drug, and food is addictive. And once you come to terms, and food is comfort food, we use food to empower ourselves because we're so powerless in an alien country. I'm going to put it like that. And so we use food because we have the power, we have the money to buy what we want to eat. But we have got to rethink. We must change the narrative and the perspective. We must. We have no choice. This is
We have no choice.
We have no choice. This
We
is
have no choice.
Life and death. I'm telling you. And the books that I've gave you, please get one, download it, go to the library. I don't know if they have a library in Nairobi. Dr.
What do you mean? Wait, back it up. We have many libraries.
I said I don't
we
know.
have many libraries in not only Nairobi, we have many libraries in Kenya and many libraries in all of Africa.
I don't know if they'll be able to find these books. Please get a hold of some of the books. I apologize. I'm not ethnocentric. I just got back from Ghana, but I don't know. I've never been to Ghana.
No problem. Well, that's why the Queen Mother Speaks show is here, so that we can all begin to know more and more and more. And we're going to post those books on our site.
Dr. Dashanaba?
For people.
And we can start putting little excerpts from How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because he was the first one to save the black man from himself.
Yes.
And he doesn't get a lot of credit, but he took all the incarcerated black men, cleaned them up, changed their diet, gave them something to do, sell the newspaper, sell the bean pie, sell fruits, in order to remain non-incarcerated.
Yes.
Yep. Now he's a current change maker, but he's not the first. They've been doing it for centuries all over the world.
Father Divine,
when they realize it.
Marcus Garvey. Who did I miss?
He's a great one, but he's not the first or the only. And there are people speaking out all over when they see the discrepancies and disparities of people being incarcerated of all races and faiths around the world. And one of the things I was addressing today with people who've been incarcerated is that women who have caught a spouse or partner cheating have been incarcerated for violent crimes or convicted, and now are felons and cannot get housing, Queen Mother.
Wow.
So I ended up working on that. So there's also places that they can get housing. There are programs that are helping, but a lot of times people don't know. Jay-Z and Killer Mike have home ownership programs, and we'll bring you that information posted on the next show. So stay tuned. More to come on Queen Mother Speaks to help you in whatever situation.
And
make sure you feel free to
yes,
text us through the week. You don't have to just interact with us on Wednesdays. And I did mention, the time changes in America, but not in Africa. So Queen Mother Speaks is now coming on at 9:00 Eastern Standard Time. So Dash, do you want to go ahead and close this out?
Yes, we do. And the way we close out the show, ladies, is we send love into the world. Let me give a shout out to Lady Mo out of Atlanta, Georgia, who's tuning in to
Yes.
Queen Mother Speaks at this time. Thank you, Monifa. We love you, Lady Mo. And the way we're going to end the show, as we always do, is we take our left hand and we blow a kiss. Then right hand,
Come on, guys.
blow a kiss. No. Then we do both hands together. So we're going to do this at the same time. Left hand, right hand, both hands. Are you ready?
Lots
Starting
of
with the
love.
left hand. Left hand.
People need
Give it away. Give it away. Right hand.
This
All
may
right,
be the
and now
only
we're
kiss
going to use both
today.
hands. Both hands. Come on. I don't see two hands. There we go. Mwah. All right. Thank you for tuning in. This is Queen Mother Speaks every Wednesday, every week, live at 5 p.m.
And
We'll see you next week. And we're going to have something else for you next week. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're ending the broadcast for today. Okay. There
We're
we
still
go.
live.
Okay, I've asked at the end. We'll try it again.